Here she comes, a woman who really has stamped her authority on the women's game in recent times, a rise to the top that has seen her make finals. And of course, in one of those recent finals, she came up against the person who's about to make the same walk. And here she comes. It's Xia time.
From China, Yingsha.
The shark, the fans, all of the noise and color that you get when the best player in the world comes out to show what she's got. We know what she's got, we know the titles she's won, and we know her ability to win WTT Champions events. But we also know about the quality of her opponent and the abilities she has when it comes to pushing the best in the world. We'll have a little look at their head-to-head and just tell you the tale of the table is one that actually sees a pretty comprehensive 3-0 record for Xia at the moment. The most recent WTT meeting there, 4-1 in the Singapore Smash final. Before that, they met in the China Smash 2024 and again in Singapore as early as 2022. But remember, at just 21, Kuai is still a rising star. Tadanori Chiaki has stepped in and will be sitting in the chair for this one. Commentator, interviewer, all-round table tennis guru Fraser Riley has made his way back to our booth right now. Okay, so we've seen two Chinese women do battle. What excites you about this matchup now as we wait for the coin toss, and then you can give me all of your thoughts ahead of this matchup.
We've got a young star here, Kuai. Someone who, as you said, John, is a real rising star. Someone who will be challenging the throne on which Yingsha sits. This is really, really interesting.
And you'll have seen in the background there, Yingsha is winning the toss there. Yeah, it's a challenge. Obviously, it's a tough challenge because in the head-to-head record, if actually you extend it beyond WTT, it's actually 4-0 in favor of Xia, their most recent meeting at the Men and Women's World Cup in Macau here. That was not a happy memory for Kuai, 4-0. The result on the day there. But what have you made of her recently, the lefty? Her form, her maturity?
I think that she's exactly where she needs to be. I think she's an old head on young shoulders. She's a very dynamic, silky and smooth left-hander player with incredible fundamentals. And she's had two really, really impressive wins there over two long-term concerns. Mima-chan, Mima Ito, who she just beat at the Women's World Cup in the semi-final stage 4-3 there, and Satsuki Odo. That was really, really impressive against the champions Montpellier winner.
That was a fantastic performance. As far as Yingsha is concerned, she might be the one who wins more than anybody else. But we have seen in recent events signs of frailty. Beaten in the final in Yokohama, of course shocked. And we saw that happening in Las Vegas. Here, the young Welsh player, Anna Hersey, gave her a tough opening round encounter. Bernadette Soch did likewise, and even Adriana Diaz as well, taking games off Xia. So she's not totally indomitable here.
Once again, they're in Singapore, John.
She, if she's to progress through here, might find herself yet again in a final coming up against her doubles partner, Wong Man Yu. But let's have a quick check-in at worldtabletennis.com and see how the voting's going. 79%.
First game, Kuai to serve, level.
A popular first point, as you can tell from the screams here in this arena in support of Yingsha. How nonchalant was that?
The backhand is so springy, so compact. She uses a lot of body in that backhand. It's amazing. I was watching her against Diaz, a very, very good friend and English teacher from Puerto Rico in the last match. And Sun's backhand was tremendous. Strawberry there, that's crazy. That was barely attackable. How has she played with full power?
And she found the paint See the look on Kuai Man's face.
That sent a
Could
shiver.
be a long day, this, for her.
That sent a shiver down her spine, that jump.
Oh, whoa. She's won 3 points here, and she hasn't just won them. She's made statements with every single one. What a start.
In terms of scar power, it might as well be 6-0.
If you're 21-year-old Kuai Man, you might be forgiven for thinking, yeah, I can catch her cold here. She might take a while to warm up. And then this happens.
This is a statement start from Yingsha. And these incredible points are being met with absolutely no reaction. Stone cold out here in the Infinity Arena.
But there is what she craved. She's on the board. She's got something to show for her efforts here. Remember, Yingsha is already a two-time WTT Champions Macao winner. She took it home in 2022 and 2024. Our reigning champion.
And no one's won more editions than her. No one's won more Champions events or smashes than her. No one's won more WTT Series titles than her. She's won 16. And remember, she's only ever played, say, one contender, a couple of star contenders. She only really shows up now for the champions and smashers.
There's another one, another statement. Actually, whatever happens for Kuai Man here, it's already been a great event because this is her personal best in WTT Champions. It's her first semi-final. So she's still somebody who's putting her career portfolio together.
Yeah, she was beaten, surprisingly, 4-0 in Incheon by Miwa Haramoto and by Shi Sun Yao convincingly in Yokohama. So this will feel good if you're Kuai Man.
But if you put yourself up against the best, you can expect the best to really deliver something like this. A superb showing by Shasha so far.
Shasha, at 24 years of age, has already got to a level where she's seemingly unaffected by spin variation at times, even from a player like Kuai Man, one of the spinniest. So you've really got to try and suffocate her for time. Kuai Man naturally isn't that much of a power player, so that's why I think Yingsha has never lost to her before.
All of those players, and we've seen a couple of non-Asian players take a point off her, game off her rather, this week. What have they done? What have they brought against Shasha?
They all bring something a little bit different. So you've got Soch, the Trixie Pixie, very, very unique in the serve-receive game. You've got Adriana Diaz, who is one of the best shot makers and most unpredictable players with the strawberries, the punches and whatnot. So that's why they managed to trouble Shasha slightly.
But she's just got all the answers.
Yeah.
She's so quickly into position, which then affords her the luxury of being able to catch her opponent out.
She knows Kuai Man's game just like the back of her own bat.
Nicely put. 8 game points in the first.
3-10.
And it's again going to be a challenge of this young woman's mentality, her mental strength. She surrenders the first 11-3 to the world #1, who has come out here, I should say, absolutely all guns blazing against her younger opponent, gaining that psychological dominance right from the outset as she takes the first game and then takes a seat, thinking about what comes next. 11-3 in the first.
Time.
Yingsha continues to astonish us with the quality of her play. She's come out here against a fast-rising star of the game, and it's almost as if she said, I'm going to take this to another level from the start. 3 or 4 blazing points.
Send to serve. Level.
How does she approach the start of the second with one game already in her pocket?
She's a woman of a few talents, Yingsha, but what she's best at is destroying people at table tennis and filling stadiums while she does it. You know, I was just looking into her eyes there on some of the slow-mo replays. Nothingness.
The shark.
The shark. She smells blood and goes for the kill. Look at that for a push.
That's it. So there's the zippy, rasping drive. Then there's this, just as deadly and dangerous. And we've seen a couple of those that have completely flummoxed Kuai.
You know you're up against someone special when it's an uphill battle from 0-0. You know, the scoreboard pressure is irrelevant almost. It's just the stature of Yingsha.
The quality of the points she's winning.
Everything. There's just a little bit of extra quality on every single ball.
This is turning into a problem now for Kuai because she must be bewildered by this. 13 of 16 points have gone to Sha. And at times, Kuai struggling to lay bat on ball.
Yeah, she's just been left here to feed off the scraps. It's just been authoritative from Yingsha. She's taking that captainess role.
4-1.
But credit to her, you don't get to where she's got to at this relatively tender age without having something about you, a bit of spirit and a lot of quality. And there she matched her opponent.
Well, that's absolutely right, John. Kuai is an incredible anticipator. She's very well balanced, and she can so often play unparalleled parallels, even when she's not best placed. But, you know, Yingsha's bringing her in, taking her out. It's just smooth, old sailing in this second game again, just like the first.
Fraser, how does she do this? This is a great ball by Kuai, deep into the corner, and look at what came back.
That's what I mean. As cavalier as you like, she's seen it all before.
I was just reminded then, just looking at Sha, of what an incredible athlete she is. If you haven't had a chance to do so, get online and have a little look at some training stuff. Some of the training regimes she goes through are mind-blowing.
Brutal.
In terms of revealing just how incredible an athlete she is. And you see it manifested in some of these shots, which she makes look simple. 7-1 already, one game up. This is imperious.
You know,
it's all coming so deep into the table for Kuai, and she's just beleaguered.
You look at the way that the points are won, and you look at the scoreboard, and you think, goodness me, there's acres between them. There's not. It's just that Yingsha is a lot better at the little things. That's all it is. They're both just as good at the complex things. They can both play the inside-outs, the hooks. They can both play the surprise factor shots, the showcase stuff. But, you know, Yingsha just has those basics, those fundamentals nailed. And that's why Kuai is under constant pressure, even when she serves. And what Sun is very, very good at and clever at is that when there's a lot of pace on the ball, she's asking herself, in the rally, why does my opponent feel so comfortable? And she's so good at actually slowing down the game. She's so good at knowing when not to attack, which shows how mature she is as the world's best attacker.
Clever. She's going to have to do that one. The ball challenged that one. She's going to have to mix it up, do whatever it takes here to unsettle Sha. And of course, the minute she does lose a couple of points, listen to that crowd. They got her back.
Been interesting recently, Cho Yike's position in the Chinese team. He's been coaching Kuai now, as well as Yingsha, who was his main player. It's been a bit of a talking point in the women's game. So, you know, I thought that could psychologically lead to something quite interesting going forward.
Could yet happen still. Sha's now serving at something like 85% success rate. 9-4, another serve to come. You know, if you mentally rewind over what we've seen so far in this match, Fraser, Kuaiman's tried to hold that table as we look across to the coach you were talking about. But Shasha's saying, no, you don't do that. And she's just been firing it into her opponent.
Don't give me that.
The roar from the fans tells you all you need to know, because even though Kuaiman tried to fight fire with fire and go toe-to-toe there was a familiar outcome.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
The depth of that shot, the length she finds. That's what's undone Kuaiman more than anything here in these two whirlwind games that have gone the way of the world #1. She sits down, she sips, and she's won 11-3, 11-4. At the moment, she's racing towards the final. And Shasha, who must be somewhere near the best of her game.
She's improving all the time, and that's frightening when you think she's already a two-time world champion and two-time Olympic finalist.
No flash, please.
Who's going to stand in her way?
Level.
Well, Kuaiman, right up there on the list of potentials. She's still got a lot to learn here.
Level.
I think you got to think about the personality of the players as well. Yingsha strikes me as a little bit of a rock star. Kuaiman's someone who's quite impassive, softly spoken, a bit shy.
But there's a bit of steel in there, you know. We've seen this when she plays in doubles with Lin Shidong. Obviously, he's far more deferential. She takes a back seat, but that little pivot and shot down the line told you there's a bit of fire.
I want to see more of that from her. She tried to bring the heat again there, taking the ball right at the peak of the bounce, but Yingsha's wherewithal from that distance, incredible how she abbreviates that forehand again and strolls back to the table like nothing happened. Oh, she even gets the edge back. Are you kidding me? Matrix-like from Yingsha. Don't know if you can catch this one, John, on this ball here. Watch this. Caught the edge of the table.
Spoke about her athleticism. How about that lower back? How about the position? You're right, Matrix-like in adjusting to that.
Can't teach that, really, can you?
No.
It's not like even the Chinese coaches can train the Chinese players against edges. The Chinese coaches are great, but they're not that accurate on the multi-ball.
You probably need a Shaolin monk for that, I'd imagine.
Well, I think Merlin is close to that. A real sensei of the sport, Merlin.
Oof, that wasn't far away. What's really, really good to see from Kuaiman here is she's decided, I'm not going to go down without a fight here, and fight is what this game has been about so far from her. Oh, them's the breaks, I guess.
Exceptional pickup there off the half long. And just to add to the intimidation factor, we've not heard any kind of vocalization from the world champion yet.
Not yet. I was impressed by the way she made that ground up to the forehand there to get around to the right.
Decent enough receive from Kuaiman.
And there was nothing wrong with that receive. In fact, it was outstanding.
She's trying to get her a bit further back from the table and trying to play most into the forehand and middle. And that seems to be working better here for Kuaiman, who will probably better both previous games in this one, in terms of the number of points won.
But she needs to do so much more than just better. I really scanty showing in terms of points in the first two, and she seems to be doing that. Really has brought the heat against Xia now. Great to see this from the fast-maturing 21-year-old.
Making it a guessing game with the serve. A dagger there, straight into the middle. And then stretching Xia after Sun came into play, backhand flick from middle. Nice combos here, John.
And remember, she's not being coached in-game here. She's come up with something here, Kuai.
Yeah, showing a bit of nous.
Set. 4-6.
Oh. The change of approach there from Xia. Started right away with the serve.
5-6.
And there, just wrong footing her opponent.
Yeah, fading that last one down the line slightly there. Good defense from Kuai Man, not lobbing, keeping pressure on her time-wise with some fishes, some blocks as well there. Nice rally. Whoa, that backhand down the line came so deep. It really, really ruffled Kuai Man's feathers. She acknowledges that.
She must have thought, though, that her receive was going to set her up to be the aggressor in this exchange. Must have done. She leapt in only to see the ball come fizzing back at her. This is great. Best action we've seen in this match so far from these two. Largely down to the aggressive intent from Kuai Man.
Oh, that's a tough old pill to swallow, that one. As if she needs it.
You know, she's so good, Xia. She almost apologized before that hit the edge of the table.
Set. 6-7.
And for that backhand again, though, Sun Yingsha, but not much backlift. Didn't quite get enough spring through the backhand there to contact the ball as required. Kuai Man with a fairly deadening backhand there. Got to focus on where your opponent has contacted the ball on their bat. Ooh.
7-8.
Sweeps that one through. Swoops in.
She's jumped in a couple of times on that serve, hasn't she? This time it doesn't come back.
You've got to be so aggressive off that half long. It's a joke how good these pros are off of it. It's a potentially bat-breaking, hand-injuring situation.
And she gets away with that one. But again, because she attacked on receive. Been a clear game plan here. Well, I mean,
it was an aggressive
push.
It was
a positive push, shall we say, yeah.
You can use the push in an attacking way. It's not considered that, but
yeah,
if you're using something aggressively, you're attacking your opponent in terms of putting pressure on them.
Yeah, let's just say purposeful.
Yep. Oh, me like what me see. What about that, Sun Yingsha? Stitching her, stretching her, stretching her. That's a perfect combination, isn't it, John?
And the placement of the ultimate winner.
Tantalizing.
But Kuai Man continues to bring the heat. Force the issue.
Trying to give her the hurry up with the flick there, Sun.
And as a result, well done, Kuai Man. You've now got a chance to win a game against Xia. And how unlikely would that have seemed over the course of the first two games of this match?
Well done indeed.
11-8.
That is
Game to Kuai.
a portrait of a high-quality table tennis player who is maturing in front of our very eyes here. There are many players out there who would have been blown away, dismissed in straight games by Yingsha here. But despite the chastening experience of the first 2 games, Kuai has got enough about her in game 3 to come out and say, no, I'm going to impact this, and she has. It's now 2-1.
Something about her character
Fourth
which
game.
really can bring that
Send to
alpha,
serve.
authoritative play.
Level.
And that's sometimes what you're wondering when you watch a player like Kuai, when you're watching a player like Tong Tong, when you're watching a player like Chin Yi. Sometimes you're wondering, do they have that fire in their belly? How much of the desire is there? Well, look at that. Spoke for itself there from Kuai.
But now to the next question. What happens when you poke the shark? Because Xia will have said, okay, you're going to come at me, are you?
Well,
She'll have formulated a plan.
You better make sure you poke her in the eyes, otherwise she'll be able to probably see her way through. Looking at that, well, the movers and shakers list as well. Special mentions to Chen Yi, Hannah Goddard, because they have really, really challenged Yingsha recently.
Yeah, some talent around. Anna Hersey, we saw on that list as well, the young Welsh woman. She's as recently as this week given Xia a bit of a hurry up at times.
Yeah, making a champion's debut. Great performance.
1-2.
Well, more specifically in answer to your question, John, usually you're prodding the bee's nest, aren't you?
Yeah.
Xia will swarm back after losing that game.
It's great news for the neutrals. There aren't that many in this venue, but for the neutrals and those of you watching, it means that this match is now elevated to a really, really high level.
We're going to have to see Xia adapt. We're going to have to see a new layer in her game, and that's exactly what you want to see.
Yeah.
You don't want to really see her cruise through. You want to see as many elements to her game as possible so that you learn more.
Yeah, this could have been almost done by now if Kuai didn't have what you were talking about.
She didn't have that in the final of the World Cup here in Macao recently, so an improvement there.
2-3.
Listen to that. Xia's legions of support are now realizing that it's not going all their hero's way, their star's way.
Maybe Kuai took a little bit of encouragement from some of the foreign players and what they managed to do against Yingsha at this event.
Yeah, it just took her a while to impose it in this match. Maybe Xia just didn't let her because she started off like a train in this one. The only question now, I suppose, for Kuai is, does she maintain this aggressive approach? Presumably the answer is yes.
Yeah.
But then you have to say, can she? Is it possible?
I think it's possible, but we haven't ever seen it from her. Could today be uncharted territory? A new day. Oh, exceptional recovery again from Yingsha. Kuai very divisive and selective with her placement changes. How
So
is she?
good.
Look at that. Look at Yingsha. She's still and tense in exactly the right areas, and she's loose in exactly the right areas.
But even in losing that, she was attempting an ambitious backhand down the line there. So again, the idea is there from Kuai whenever possible.
I love saying this quote, but to take no risk is the biggest risk you can take. You've got to take the game to your opponent. You've got to really win. You can't play not to lose.
You know what you said about poking that bee's nest, sharp bear, whatever you want to say. I think we're seeing some stinging replies here from Xia.
Oh!
5-4.
Where did that go?
That is scrumptious from Kuai.
Whoa, out wide around the table.
That's delightful.
That's the best shot we've seen from her.
That's the best
so
shot we've
far.
seen from either one of them. Seriously, that was something else, John. Just when you thought that she'd been stretched too far, that's what I mean. Remember what I said earlier about how good she is at playing those lines, playing those parallels?
Yeah.
Even when she's at full stretch. You know, when you're usually full stretch, your muscles tense and it's harder to face spin and redirect. She can do it. She can do it, Kuai Man.
Amazing skill.
We're seeing some real finesse here from Kuai Man.
We are, but we're also seeing what makes this woman so good, so solid, so unbeatable at times. It's just coming back time and time again. And not passively either. It's a 3-point game now, so she's under the cosh a little bit again, Kuai Man.
8-4.
Xiaoxia's just thinking to herself, okay, you can lace one down the line, but I've got a few shots as well.
Yeah, put that one down the line.
It's a 4-point game she's serving now, and she's 8-4 up, so after the disruption of the last game, she'll be looking now to just say, okay, let's get back to where we were.
Oh, look at that. Like trying to lift a brick. Identical service toss. No clue whatsoever, not showing where she's going. Right into the crossover. Beautiful serve.
7 of the last 8 points have gone to Xiaoxia. There's another! That was stinging, venomous. And one that lands her with 6 game points.
Merciless.
Yeah. Ying the Merciless. Incredible.
Great feeling.
11-4.
And that's the game, and that's 11-4, and that's 3-1. A normal service you might feel if you're a Xiaoxia fan has resumed. She's risen to the challenge, and then some, and now she's on the brink. Another game required to book a place in the final.
It's easy to think about the threats. It's easy to think about who can challenge the throne. Xiaoxia playing with such freedom, even though the crown is heavy as the world #1 from China. I think it's better if you just accept the fact that she is the best player in the world right now. 3-1 to the world champion.
In this, the second of them. Remember, these players vying for an encounter with Wang Manyu in the women's singles final this evening. It's Kuai Man who, despite her fight back in the third game, is now staring at the possibility that Xiaoxia could complete this job in this game. She leads 3-1. Again, just the same area. It's been that area that's been a problem once or twice in this match. But Tadanori Chiaki's on the job.
Left 1. All.
Well, it would have to be something out of this world, really, from Kuai Man if she is to even live to see another game here at the WTT Champions Macao 2025. Xiaoxia looks to have taken control.
1-2.
Well, would you look at that? Xingyin Xia surely thought she had her dead and buried with that forehand, but what a get, what a read there. As Sun sticks out her tongue. Incredible shot tolerance here from Kuai Man. That's another one right there that the Xingyin Xia fans were beginning to get excited about. regardless of what happens here, the Chinese coaches will be happy with Kuai Man's performance. They won't be surprised. They know how capable she is. At the end of the day, she is number 4 in the world right now, the 21-year-old. But I think there's still unfinished business with Shi Sun Yao, someone who hasn't featured here at the WTT Champions Macau.
4-3.
New ground for Kuai Man at a WTT Champions event. But the player who beats her in the Singapore Smash final standing in her way here as the momentum swings. 12 of the last 16 to the top seed. Five WTT senior titles to Kuai Man's name. This would be the biggest of them all. It's a grand occasion here at the 4th edition of the WTT Champions Macau. Of course, we're heading to the China Smash next in this Asia swing, and we are very, very excited to go back to Shogun Park. And look here at her last 3 Champions results. Quarters at every single one of them. So she's done better. Through to the final 4 here. There we go then. The umpire calls time. Players come back to the table here. Our DHS table, which is a joy to play on. Best equipment in the world, of course, in use here.
4-3.
Saw the introduction of the brand new sustainable ball as well at the Europe Smash. That was nice. Adriana Diaz, Sun Yingsha's good friend from Puerto Rico, a real ambassador for climate change. She saw her off 4-1 yesterday. Felt like in 2 of the games that Diaz lost, she had a real chance, but Sun Yingsha are able to find that wiggle room. Able to adapt and able to just hold the table as opposed to attacking everything. Fine line, isn't it, between being passive and being controlled, but Sun Yingsha is usually always controlled. Everything has the intent behind it. Nothing really is mindless.
5.
Rare to see her snatch, but there she took on a very, very high difficulty backhand. On 1 foot there, Sun Yingsha. The prospect here of facing Wang Mengyu in the women's singles final later on tonight at stake. It's looking like we're going to see the final that we expected to see. The world number 1 against the world number 2. Sun Yingsha here, ahead by 2 at the second towel break of this must-win game for Kuai Man. Just goes long or wide there with the backhand, depending on what way you look at it. Guided shot and quite quickly put into a defensive position because of Kuai Man's placement with the backhand. She backs up her services, the 21-year-old. gliding Kuai man.
7.
She really does play with elegance, the world number 4. But it's Sun Yingsha's ability to explode. It's her dynamism. Always looming. And there it is, in full swing. The contortion of her waist, that transfer of her weight, at racket speed, devastating. She's nearly there. All optimism remains guarded, but we heard a little chole there from Sun Yingsha. She's a point away from setting up a clash with Wang Monyu. She would play the world number 2 for the 27th time if she gets through here.
10, 8.
Sun Yingsha defeats Kuai man, teaching her a trick or two there in that women's singles final. Semi-final, I should say. And we are going to get to see the final that we hoped for, the world number 1 versus the world number 2. That is certainly going to be a treat. Sun Yingsha will meet Wang Monyu for the 27th time internationally.